Alright, thank y'all for tuning in today. We got a 2004 F-150 XLT with a 5.4. Truck came in, customer had broke off this and this cylinder spark plug. So normally when they break off in the head, you can get a special tool and remove the porcelain and the sleeve that's down in the head. Now this one was a special case. It actually broke at the threads. The spark plug broke in half, so it left the threaded part plus the sleeve and the porcelain and everything down in the head. And I tried everything I could to drill it and tap it, drill it and tap it while on the vehicle. Couldn't do it, so ended up pulling the head off the passenger side. But when we got in there, found that the timing chain guides were all broken and the chain was slapping around. So we're gonna go ahead and change the timing chain and the VVT solenoids, the VVT sprockets, and the tensioners and the guides. Now, what we had to do to get these plugs out, let's walk over here. Here's the head. So it was, this plug was broke off flush with the threads in it. This plug was broke off flush with the threads in it. This one was just the porcelain that was broke off and the sleeve. So basically once we had the head off, we flipped the head over and I took a small little punch and I knocked the sleeve out of the first cylinder there. Here's the sleeve that got broke off down in there. That hooks onto the bottom of the spark plug right here. That is this part. Yeah. All right, so we knocked this one out with a punch. Now, the other two, and as you can tell, they broke off at the threads. So what I had to do was I actually tapped, once I got the porcelain and the sleeves out, like I said, I did that by taking the head off, flipping the head over, knocking it out. Then I took a tap and I tapped it 2 different sizes, not quite the size of the actual threads, 2 sizes smaller. And once I thinned it out some, I was able to put an easy out in there and extract it. And then to get it off my easy out, of course, I had to cut it to get it to pop loose. But yeah, your best option, if you cannot drill them on the vehicle, is to remove the head, flip the head over, make sure you don't damage your VVT sprocket if it's still on there or the cam. Once you get it flipped over, you're going to want to take a punch and right it where the spark plug is. Let's flip this over. Basically, I broke the tip off here and I took a punch and knocked the porcelain through out the top side, and then got a small little punch that would just barely grab that sleeve there, and I knocked the sleeve back through. So with the sleeve out, getting it tapped, and then using an easy out to extract it, I was able to remove 2 that were broke flush, and then 1 that just had the sleeve and a little porcelain in it. Now, normally to remove this passenger side head, they want you to take the AC compressor loose, take the starter out so you can get to the bolts on the exhaust manifold. Now, if you can, just remove the 2 right here at the flange. And you can wiggle this entire head out with the exhaust manifold on it and save yourself a couple of hours. But you do have a whole lot of extra weight added to this, so it is a little heavy when you go to pick it up out of there, but it can be done. You can remove the passenger side head without removing the exhaust manifold. Let's get back over here. Here's your starter down there, and the compressor's still on. Now we went ahead and got it all cleaned up, put the guides back in it. Waiting now for the new head gasket, and we're replacing the head bolts. I always recommend that because they stretch whenever you tighten them down. I always replace the head bolts, new head gaskets, timing chain, guides, tensioners, VVT sprockets, everything normally on these 5.4s. Customers opted out to pull the head on the driver's side and change that gasket. They just want to do this one because it didn't have an overheating issue or nothing like that. We only had to pull the head to get the plugs that were broke off out. And again, this is a 2004 F-150 XLT with a 5.4, and we pulled the passenger side head off for the broken plugs. Going to replace the head gasket and timing components. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all.